What is up, guys? Lonehawk here today, and welcome back to Planetside 2. In today's video, we're going to be discussing something that's been on my mind. I'm going to be talking about why the NC are the most underpowered faction in all of Planetside 2 and are in dire need of some serious buffing. Come on, Daybreak Games, what have you been doing? Oh yes, so many things to discuss, so little time. So what will we start with, Lonehawk? What is it going to be? Are we going to talk about the Cyclones or maybe the Vanguard? No. We'll save those for later. For now, we're going to talk about the NC Max. Let's compare the NC Max side by side with the VS and the TR equivalents. When you look at this picture, tell me what you see. Okay, don't tell me what you see. I have no idea what you're saying. But you know what I see? I see two beautiful looking Maxes and then this thing in the middle that's standing between them, and I have no idea what it is. I mean, look at that thing. Do you see the NC Max? It's totally hideous. It looks like they took apart all of the Reavers that inevitably crashed because they're not aerodynamic, and they just strapped it on a soldier and called it a Max suit, and then they put some, like, big shotguns on its arms. I mean, that's all it really is. To be honest, every single time I look at an NC Max suit, it looks like it's wearing a dress. I mean, just look at the upper part of its legs, right by its knees. Well, what is that? What is that covering? There's nothing behind those two little flaps there. There's just nothing, okay? I don't know why that even needs to be there. The TR don't use one. The VS might use one. You can't even really... this is stupid. You're wearing a dress, NC. What are you doing? Some of y'all are probably thinking, like, what's wrong with the NC Max suit? It's totally fine. Like, it doesn't matter what it looks like as long as it's, effective. Right? Well, it's not effective. I'm telling you, it is not effective right now. Look at that Max suit and tell me that it has aerodynamics. How is that thing supposed to get anywhere if it's windy? Like, if it's windy, where does the NC Max... It doesn't even matter. That thing's not going anywhere. Crap. Who's at the door? Oh, hey, man. What's it... Oh, gosh! No! I didn't mean it! I'm sorry for the delay. I've been told to stop abiding by the impossible standards set by VS Maxes. Was that NTR Maxes too? Oh, all Maxes are beautiful and should be treated as such. I'm so sorry. Bye, NC Scientist. You have a good day now. Of course, yeah, I would never again. Trust me, the message came through. We are good. A-okay, actually. Perfect. All right, I'll see you later. Bye. Oh, NC Scientist thinks he's fooling me, but I'll just tell you, those punches, they didn't even hurt, all right? I'm going to just keep, bashing the NC right behind his back, and I don't think he's going to notice. I'm not going to let him in my room again. I don't know why I even opened that door. But anyway, what are we on to next? Oh, the Max's weaponry. Yes, those two things they put on their arms that have weird names when they're really just big shotguns, right? They suck. I mean, if your enemy's more than like 10 meters away, you're out of luck. You can't even hit it. And the NC Maxes are slow because of the wind resistance, remember? Because of the wind resistance, remember? You can't catch up to anything, right? So you're just screwed if they're over 10 meters away. I guess you could use slugs. But let's think about that here. If you use a slug, you get one big bullet, except it's not a bullet. It's like a ball. It's actually a slug. They're completely different, but still, you get one. When you use the pellets, you get like 8 in each arm, which is like 16 pellets total. That's like TR logic right there. More is better. So we need more damage, and we need to be more like the TR, because we all know how overpowered the TR are, right? I think I talked about it once. I'm not actually quite sure. I think back in the day or something, but still, more damage, more range. These Maxes need to be better performing, and I'm going to be right back after I go yell at PS2 developers because they don't know what they're doing. Now, I have one last thing to talk about before we move away from the NC Maxes. And now, I've been bashing the way the NC Maxes look a lot. I've been actually bashing a lot of the appearances of the Max, which, isn't the most important thing. But now we're just going to do some math, some simple, basic, can't even argue with it, just math, all right? We're going to talk about the Ravens and how ridiculously underpowered they are. And I'm going to explain this all using math and science, so it makes sense. Are you ready for this? Let's go. Your standard NCM3 Raven has a fire rate of 48 rounds per minute. Wow, is that low. Multiply that by the 335 damage per shot, and you only get 16,080 damage per minute. That's totally weak, so that's just terrible. That's just awful. You know what? Let's actually put this into comparison because some of you may not understand this math that I'm laying out for you, okay? The Fracture has a fire rate of 80 rounds per minute. That's like almost double that of the Raven. Multiply that by its 210 damage per shot, and you have 16,800 damage per minute. That's a whole 700 damage more plus 720 damage more over the course of 60 seconds. That is borderline game breaking right there. And even to make matters even worse, you want to know this? The Ravens only have 5-round magazines. The Fractures have 10. That means your theoretical, damage per minute is much higher on the Fractures and much lower on the Ravens because they need to reload twice as often. How is this fair? You know what? Let's even do one more comparison. We will use the VS. The VS. What do they use? They use the what? Yeah, that thing right there on the screen. Yeah, look at that. Look at the comparison that was just made on your screen. That's crazy, isn't it? That's totally crazy. I don't even know what it says. It's crazy. So now that I've used real math and logic behind my argument, none of you can even argue with me. If I see any comments down below trying to convince me that the Ravens are like the best anti-vehicle weapon or something ridiculous like that, yeah, you better just leave the channel because I ain't gonna put up with that. All right, it's just not gonna happen anymore. We used math and we used there was numbers and it's perfect. Okay, the Ravens, they suck. Okay, they're just. Moving on. Moving on. Bye. Okay, NC scientists. I know you're lazy, but I didn't realize it was this bad, alright? The Vanguard? Let's take a look at the Vanguard now, guys. Hold up for a second. The Vanguard looks just like a tank, I don't know, out of like the 21st century. Come on, guys. We are now at like the 26th century. All right, it has been 5 centuries since, like, it's crazy. Why are you still using a tank that looks like something they were using back in like 2016? This is ridiculous. I mean, the VS have moved on. The NC haven't. Even the TR have added like another barrel to their tank because that makes a difference. But no, the Vanguard's just lazy. And you know what you did? Instead of getting creative, you're like, you know what? Let's just do what we do best. Give it more shields. Put more shields on it. We need more armor. We need to throw more armor plating on. Let's do it, guys. That's what the Vanguard is, okay? There's not much to say about it. I mean, what do you want me to say? Okay, it's slower than the other tanks. It's slower than all of the other tanks, okay? So you can't catch up. If you're about to kill something, it just gets away. You can't catch it. And then, like, it only has 1 barrel, which is lame because the TR has 2, which is like way cooler. And then the VS shoots like plasma. What does the NC shoot? Like regular rockets? Are those from 2015 too? Like, come on. This is the 26th century now, and we're still using 2015 hardware. This is ridiculous, NC. Quit being lazy. So now let's go over a few of the basic infantry weapons of the NC before we wrap things up. All right, we're going to talk about the Jackhammer, the GD7F, and the Cyclone. All right, so let's just start with the Jackhammer, right? Why not? The Jackhammer is terrible. It needs a buff. All right, it doesn't shoot fast enough. It doesn't have enough pelletiness, and it's just ridiculous. All right, I don't know. You can't even claim you're the shotgun faction NC when your shotgun doesn't have enough pelletiness. I don't know what you're thinking. Moving on, though, that makes perfect sense to everybody. I know it does. Moving on, the GD7F. What on earth? This piece of crap. What is this thing? All right, it's if you can use this weapon, props to you, man, because you're the only one. Nobody has. I don't think anybody who's ever used this weapon has a KD above like just half. KD above half. It's so bad. Like, you shoot at people, but the recoil like shoots up straight into the sky, and the range is like not there. It's like it should be like the way the Cyclone is. It's like close to. It's just bad. I don't understand it. I don't know what that Cyclone reference even was. So let's talk about the Cyclone now too. It's just a disappointment. You ever heard of the Failstorm that TR uses? You haven't even used the Cyclone. This is like the Failstorm had a baby with another Failstorm, and there was a problem at birth, and out came the Cyclone. Like, there's no better way to describe it. Like, the baby was just horribly disfigured, and the NC said, you know what, we're still going to use it. We love all babies, regardless of how they look. And you should love all babies, but this isn't a real baby, so you shouldn't have used it. You shouldn't have loved it, NC. I don't know what you're doing, but you need to stop it with these terrible babies. They're just bad. You know what? All baby jokes aside, all of the NC carbines are just bad. Okay, the Mercenary, bad. GD7F, we've already discussed it. It's bad. The ACX-11, bad. The Gauss thing, bad. You know what? There's another one. Nobody knows the other one. It exists, but it's also bad. So just don't use them. Take my word for it. They're all bad. We could talk about how the Reaver performs, but I'm sure you know the word I would use to describe it. Yep, I'm not even going to say it. You know it. The Reaver is really boxy, which I don't get why that would ever make sense for something that flies through the air, which has wind resistance and needs to be aerodynamic. But no, I guess, aerodynamics just aren't a thing for NC, so we won't worry about them. It has a weapon. It's called the Air Hammer, but you know what? It's not good either, so who really cares? I mean, they're all just bad. You know the NC is bad. I hope you all enjoyed this video, this very informative video. It was sponsored by, if you didn't realize this video was a joke by now, please don't give me death threats like you did last time in the comments. That would be nice, thank you. And as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys all later. Lone Hawk, out.